Have you ever wondered what a woman who is jealous of her own son, practically obsessed with him, is capable of doing? Well, in today's video, I'm going to talk about the case of Karolina Flores, a Mexican beauty queen who became the victim of a terrible crime allegedly orchestrated by her own mother-in-law. Karolina's final moments were captured by a camera, and the footage shocked the public when it came to light. This case has been causing a huge stir in Mexico, and today I brought you the full story behind it. Karolina Flores Gomez was born on April 4, 1999 in Ensenada, a coastal city with nearly 700,000 residents located in Baja California, Mexico. In 2017, at 18 years old, Karolina won the title of Miss Teen Universe Baja California, representing her state in national beauty pageants. Her journey in beauty contests and modeling brought her significant visibility. Because of that, she gained a large following on social media, where she often shared her lifestyle, passion for fashion, and personal moments. In addition to building a career in the fashion world, Karolina also built a family. She was married to Alejandro Sanchez and had given birth to a baby girl in 2025 who, at the time of the events, was around 8 months old. Karolina's life seemed to be moving toward personal fulfillment and motherhood. She had left behind the spotlight of pageants and dedicated herself to raising her family in the apartment, where she lived with her husband and young daughter. That apartment was located in the Polanco neighborhood of Mexico City, an area considered one of the safest and most exclusive in the Mexican capital. In the weeks leading up to the crime, Karolina remained active on social media, as usual. According to reports based on information from her family and the investigation, there were no public signs of any imminent threat or other serious issue that could indicate something was wrong. On the night of April 15, 2026, Wednesday, Karolina was in her apartment with her husband Alejandro, the couple's 8-month-old daughter, and her mother-in-law, Erica Maria Herrera. Erica was not an unknown figure in her hometown. She had been involved in local politics and even ran for a city council seat in Ensenada back in 2016. At one point during the evening, Karolina and her mother-in-law were talking in the living room. Later, Karolina went into one of the apartment's bedrooms. As you can see in the video, her mother-in-law started following her. When Karolina bent down to pick something up from the floor, her mother-in-law pulled out a gun and fired multiple shots at her. Alejandro, Karolina's husband, entered the apartment carrying their daughter as soon as he heard the noise. He had been in the hallway outside the apartment when everything happened. When he saw his wife lying on the bedroom floor with multiple injuries, he asked his mother what she had done. She responded that she had done nothing. She claimed that Karolina had simply irritated her. In the recordings, she can even be heard saying, "I did nothing, she annoyed me." Erica also told him, "You are my son, and she stole you from me." All of this was captured on a camera inside the apartment. I'm going to do a quick reaction here to the recording so we can have a better understanding of the case. Hey guys, this is the video, okay? I have it open here on my computer. I'm going to do a quick reaction to it. It'll be fast, it's already a short video, okay? And I'll have to cut out some parts here because, as I explained to you, right, it shows something sensitive. Yeah, this tag here, this @sign, I don't know if it's an Instagram handle or what. I think it's whoever had access to the video first. So the person put this here kind of like, as if to say like, oh, the video belongs to me. I didn't really understand what happened. All I know is that I couldn't find a version of the video without this, okay? If you guys want to follow on Instagram, I think this is an Instagram handle, so you can go there if you want, okay? All right, I'm going to play the video here and I'll do a quick narration for you, okay? Well, as you can see here, right, Karolina is wearing a bathrobe and her mother-in-law is back there. Karolina is looking for something here in this other room, right? And the mother-in-law is following her. At this point, the mother-in-law already has bad intentions. Then, when Karolina enters the bedroom and bends down, folks, that's when the mother-in-law pulls out the gun and fires the shots. This part here, I'm going to have to cut it. I can't show it here. You know why, right? The platform doesn't allow it. I could be penalized for that. It doesn't show anything. The only thing you can see is the mother-in-law pulls out the gun, the first shot is fired, Karolina screams, and then the mother-in-law fires several more shots in sequence, okay? That's pretty much what happens. Well, I'm going to cut the video here, and I'll go straight to the part, you know, when Alejandro shows up there in the apartment. Well, everyone, this is the moment when Alejandro appears holding his daughter, and here they have a brief conversation. This is where Erica, his mother, she says a few things to him here. Look.
Nada, con eso no. ¿Qué te pasa? No, que mi familia. Familia es mía. tú eres mío y ella es tu.
Well, guys, this was the video that captured everything that happened. The crime, Karolina's final moments, Alejandro's reaction when he saw what had happened, and that brief exchange with his mother. And that's where the video ends. It was likely recorded for much longer, but this was the only portion that was released. When this footage came to light, it caused a major backlash and quickly spread across the internet. Many people who watched the video found Alejandro's reaction unusual. The way he behaved upon seeing his wife already lifeless beside him raised questions. His reaction was considered by many to be very strange and lacking emotion. We don't know if the shock was so intense that he didn't know how to react, but it almost seemed like he was calm in the face of everything. And as I mentioned, only this segment was made public, so we can't know how he reacted afterward. Let's wait and see if the police release more information. After the murder, Erica fled the scene immediately. Investigation reports show that she had a taxi waiting for her outside. She went downstairs, picked up her luggage, and left the building as if nothing had happened. While she began her escape toward the south, Alejandro remained in the apartment with their young daughter. He only contacted authorities and called emergency services the following day, April 16, 2026. That's right. He stayed in the apartment with his wife's body for several hours and only decided to notify the police the next day. And I'll explain the reason Alejandro later gave for doing that. However, investigators are now looking closely at inconsistencies in his story. Some believe the delay was a calculated move to give his mother a head start to flee. In his first statement, Alejandro said it was his own mother who had fired the shots at his wife. He said he did not contact authorities immediately because he feared he would be declared the main suspect in the crime, and as a result, his daughter would be taken into state care. According to him, he first wanted to make arrangements to ensure his daughter would be safe in case he was detained by police. So during the time he remained in the apartment with his wife's body, he called close family members to inform them of what had happened. One of those relatives was Reina Gomez Molina, Karolina's mother and Alejandro's mother-in-law, who confirmed the version of events he gave to police. Alejandro also recorded several videos in which he gave instructions on how to care for his daughter. He explained her feeding routine, what time she usually sleeps, and other essential care details. The purpose of these videos, according to him, was so that if he were detained as a suspect, whichever family member took care of the child would know exactly what to do. In short, the videos were basic instructions on how to care for the baby. Alejandro recorded these videos just hours after the crime, while he was still in the apartment with his wife's body nearby. When questioned by police about the whereabouts of Erica, Alejandro said he did not know. He also said he did not know how his mother had obtained a gun, since according to him, she did not own one. Alejandro told police that he and Karolina used to live in Ensenada, but they decided to move because his mother, who also lives in Ensenada, constantly interfered in the couple's life, which created conflicts between her and Karolina. They then moved to Mexico City, the country's capital. After that, Erica began accusing Karolina of separating her from Alejandro. In her mind, Erica believed that Karolina had stolen her son and taken him far away on purpose. The city of Ensenada is around 1,860 miles from Mexico City, a distance that reportedly left Erica extremely upset. Days before the crime, Erica allegedly called Alejandro saying she missed them and wanted to visit, using the excuse that she needed to return a dog she could no longer care for. Alejandro then spoke with Karolina, and the couple agreed to receive Erica at the apartment. As I mentioned earlier, Karolina and Erica did not get along very well. But no one could have imagined that the woman would bring a gun with her to take Karolina's life. Conflicts and family disagreements are common in many households, but most people do not expect something at this level to happen. Because Alejandro only contacted authorities the following day, Karolina was already dead by the time paramedics arrived. As a result, she was pronounced deceased at the scene. Karolina's body was taken for an autopsy, which confirmed that there were at least 6 wounds caused by gunfire, including injuries to the head and chest. The cause of death was determined to be severe hemorrhaging due to those injuries. The building's security guard told police he had not heard anything unusual. He said he only learned about the incident when police arrived after being called by Alejandro. According to some sources, a few neighbors did hear the sound of gunshots, but they did not realize they were gunshots and therefore did not call police. Alejandro was not detained as the main suspect because of the camera inside the apartment that recorded everything. When police reviewed the footage, they confirmed everything Alejandro had said was true. That camera in the apartment was used by Karolina and Alejandro to monitor their daughter. They used it when the baby was in the living room and they were in another room. Erica certainly did not know about this camera. If she had known, she likely would have committed the crime in a place where she could not be recorded. The murder weapon, a 9mm pistol, was found in the couple's apartment and taken for forensic examination. Investigators also found 7 ejected shell casings and 4 deformed bullets. Despite Alejandro proving that he was not responsible for the crime and providing a justification for remaining with his wife's body for hours before notifying authorities, it is very likely that he will still face negligence charges. When a crime happens, authorities must be informed immediately so investigations can begin as quickly as possible. In addition, there is the possibility that Karolina may have remained alive for some time after the attack. Because Alejandro did not call authorities right away, she did not receive emergency assistance that might have saved her life. Karolina's family has stated that they expect Alejandro to answer for at least negligence. Some people suspect that Alejandro only contacted authorities the next day so his mother would have enough time to flee. Another thing, guys, that happened, and I think this is really going to complicate things for Alejandro, is a very bizarre fact. He's already admitted to this. He used his wife's body to feed their daughter when the baby started crying from hunger. So, when the baby started crying and he was there, supposedly desperate and not knowing what to do, he took his wife's body, which was lying face down, turned her over, placed the girl next to her, and tried to get her to breastfeed. He was the one who admitted this to the police. To be honest, I don't even know if that's a crime itself, but it's definitely something very bizarre and morbid. Well, it definitely is. Following all of these facts, it is very likely that Alejandro will face some form of accountability. This case had enormous repercussions throughout Mexico and later around the world. Several news outlets from different countries reported on it. What shocked people the most was Erica's chilling coldness. After committing the crime, she acted as if nothing had happened. Speaking of Erica, she remained on the run for several days. Mexican authorities were placed on maximum alert, and agents working at airports and border crossings throughout the country were notified. As soon as Erica fled, authorities already believed she had likely left the country through the southern border, entering Guatemala or Belize. But this was still uncertain. On April 30th, after a police operation led by Interpol, 63-year-old Erica Maria Herrera was arrested. She was found in Caracas, the capital of Venezuela. The investigation showed she had fled through southern Mexico using ground transportation to avoid airports. She passed through several countries before arriving in Venezuela. Her political background and connections likely provided her with the resources and contacts needed to flee so far. This explains how she managed to cross multiple borders undetected before being caught. It is still unknown if she intended to stay there or continue fleeing to another destination. As of early May 2026, Erica remains in custody in Venezuela while the extradition process is finalized. She is expected to be returned to Mexico soon to face trial for aggravated murder. As for the baby girl, she has been placed in the temporary care of Karolina's parents in Ensenada. The family is now fighting for full custody, arguing that Alejandro's negligence makes him unfit to raise her. Earlier that month, on April 20th, Karolina's family held her funeral in her hometown. The burial at Panteon Jardín Modelo was attended by hundreds of people. They all gathered to say a final goodbye to a young woman whose life was taken far too soon. While the legal battle continues, the community remains united, demanding justice for Karolina. Well, more information will certainly come to light now that Erica has been arrested. As soon as there are new updates, I plan to make a follow-up video. In the meantime, let me know in the comments what you thought of today's video and if you'd like me to bring those updates here to you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.